So we've yet to do a walk around on the FJ here. I was out this morning, it's probably about 6 a.m. riding this trail back here, and I figured, you know what, let's do a walk around, show you guys what this rig has. It's been a little bit since I posted a video since our last overland trip, so I want to at least get something up for you guys before our next adventure. So we started with this 2011 FJ Cruiser. Had about 40,000 miles on it when I purchased it. It was in awesome shape. I've stripped a lot down. We've added a ton of parts to it. There's still a lot to come actually, which made me start thinking about doing this walk around now, because we're going to be doing quite a bit of upgrades over the next few months. And we'll make another video to update that and maybe some of the progress of the build. So far what we've done, our wheel setup we're running here is 315 70/17s. We ended up fitting on there 35s basically by 12.5. In order to do that, what we needed to do besides a 3-inch lift is also add a body lift, just to give a little extra clearance to fit those without rubbing. We're running the Old Man Emu's coilover setup, which has been great so far. I mean, it's held up awesome. We beat on it. It'll take the abuse. We are running 1.25 inch spacers as well, just to give it a little more clearance, a little more room in the wheel well. Of course, as you can see, there's grass all over the place here, but the body mount chop we've done. I've seen a lot of guys weld the plate back over the front. It's really your preference. If you feel like it needs the strength, we may get in there and weld something. If I notice any issues, so far we've been good. I guess I would recommend doing it. It doesn't hurt to add extra strength to it, but by all means, it's definitely beefy enough still as it is with the amount of metal that's on there. Let's see, so for as far as any engine upgrades, obviously we haven't done much. There's really no need to. At this point, all we've done, I guess, is added K&N filter in there and the snorkel, just to keep the dust out on all these trails and such. We've added a Banks Monster 3-inch exhaust, which has been really good. I haven't seen anyone running this one yet that I've ran into. I love it. Sounds great. Nice deep tone. For lighting, let's go around here. Lighting, we're running a light bar up top and LED pod lights on the sides. That provides a ton of lighting. I mean, by all means, in the dark on all these trails, deep in the woods, that's more than enough light to light up everything we need in front of us. We're also running LED headlights, which have been great as well. Super bright. Even without the light bar and the pod lights, those things will light up a trail quite a bit. We've removed the flares basically, again, to gain more clearance. Some people like the look, some people don't. It's kind of a love-hate thing. I personally like the way it looks. I've thought about putting flares on it in the past, but I really like the open wheel look. Throws some mud, but it makes it fun. We've also eliminated the front bumper wings. Basically just to keep them from just tearing off anytime you run into something. It happens quite a bit, running into branches, pushing brush down in front of you. It's definitely a good idea. I think we got those from fjbumperwings.com. They're relatively cheap, super easy to put on. Gives it a nice cool look. We added the winch, 9,500 pound Smitty built winch. I've used the hell out of it. It's held up. I definitely recommend one of these. They're not too expensive and it's really held up great. We made a custom bracket here. Basically, you could purchase this plate for this winch. It's for a older Tacoma basically, which bolts directly to a Tacoma frame. What I've done is just bolted it to the bumper support and then added, see if you can see this, these extra brackets here, so that it doesn't tip as we're basically pulling. There's a lot of weight, so we've added this bracket here, which goes to the bumper support and then all the way back in don't know if you could see it. Yeah, further back in the bumper support to really give it a lot of extra strength. We did it on both sides. If you got any questions about that, just hit me up. And I've gotten a lot of questions about how I did that, and it's pretty much just that simple. If you're able to bend some metal and do some welding, and it's pretty simple. We've added on some Rotopax mounts to the C-pillars here. I don't have them mounted, obviously, as you can see. You might be able to see pictures of them mounted on our other videos. It is pretty cool. I like the way it looks. It's definitely convenient having the extra fuel. I've seen a lot of guys mount them on the rear door. It is a lot of extra weight, especially already with a 35-inch tire without a tire carrier. So I chose to mount them on here. Again, they're 2.5 gallon that we carry. We have one on each side, so 5 gallons is plenty of fuel if we feel like we're getting a little low and need to find the next gas station. So it's worked out really good for us. I've also done on the roof rack see if I can get a good shot of it, a drop-in rack that has worked out really good. I'm gonna climb up. The OEM roof rack is useless, as some may say. The crossbars are pretty weak, they bend quite a bit, and just the overall shape of the roof rack isn't very convenient. So I've done a drop-in rack here. So what we do is mount 2 boxes basically up here with all of our equipment, and then we'll use a rooftop bag here strapped to the sides for all of our other loose items. Plenty of storage if you do go that route. Put our shovel, our high lift jack up on here as well. We have another mount over there for an axe that we carry. As far as anything else here, we have the Bandy CB mount right here on the door. Ran that all the way through to our CB. This is another custom thing we've done that I haven't really seen a lot on FJs. I purchased just a single DIN radio container and mounted it right to the ceiling. I used some basically washers and bolts to hold it through the headliner, and it is super strong. I mean, it has not moved. We've hit tons of bumps on trails, and it has yet to come loose whatsoever. So I really like it. Tucked up out of the way there. It's pretty convenient. We also run, and this is one thing I recommend too as well, is we have a tablet with a tablet mount right here on the dash. This thing is awesome for basically pre-downloading maps for all of our trips. It's really convenient to have. We do have GPS and a data plan on it, but even the times that you're out and there is no Wi-Fi or data access, basically just pre-download some maps. There's a lot of cool options out there. Again, if you want any tips or anything, just message me, and it's definitely highly recommended to have another way of being able to navigate when you're out. I mean, depending on the trips you go on, you know, it's important to not get lost. It's important to really have a plan in place before you head out. And nothing beats paper maps. Don't be afraid to buy at least a paper map for the state you're living in or where you plan on going as just a backup. I mean, sometimes I find them easier to use instead of relying on electronics, especially when you're out on trails and stuff. They're not ever clearly marked since not a lot of people are running on them. It's really nice to just have a nice paper backup to get you back on track. I think that's pretty much it. Our plans for the future very soon would be adding, first of all, some upper control arms. We basically have decided to do the Camberg ball joint type that we're going to be getting. We deal with a lot of salt and snow where we are, so I really don't want to lean towards a uniball that's pretty exposed. I've seen a lot of people run them, and I've also seen them rusting and salt getting in there and eating away at it and constantly replacing it. It just doesn't make sense. The Camberg uses a Moog stock ball joint, which is more than enough strength for anything we're running into. The only time you really need uniballs is if you're hitting bumps at 100 miles an hour and you really want them to hold up. But the Cambergs just change the angle on them, allow you a little bit more flex. We'll probably just run a limiting strap to not bend our CV down too much. we're going to
So
be doing
the other thing we're going to be adding
we're going to do
is
4/8
a
ARB air locker up front. We are going to re-gear to 4/8. The 35s do steal some power from this for sure. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It does run. It's great. It's definitely good on the trails. It's just when you're really getting up to highway speeds, you know, you do fight. It's searching for gears a lot, especially if you're towing. It does well, and by all means, you could definitely run it for a long time with 35s. But if you really want that power back and you really want to get fuel mileage a little better, it's absolutely worth re-gearing. All right, so that's the FJ walk around. If you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate. We love questions and comments. We do this for you guys, and we'll see you soon in the next video.